Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Scotto's Garden, where the more we know, the better we grow. Zone 6, Urban Gardening. Absolutely beautiful day here in the Gem City. August the 25th. We got about 6 days left, right, until we're in September. Things in our garden are starting to change and look a little different and all that stuff. And what we want to do is take full advantage of that change. And what I mean by that is we want to cycle, reuse, and reprocess all those good nutrients that are still left in some of our vegetables, like these corn stalks right here. Even though these corn stalks are done producing for the year, they have a lot of nutrition still in the stems and in the stalks. And we want to take advantage of that nutrition. And especially if you're growing in raised beds and you have access to the ground, this is the reason I really like to use raised bed, because it gives me that border and I have access to the worms and everything in the ground. And this really works well, what I'm about to show you guys on how to reuse that, because this is actually the bed I had all my corn in. So I took this corn up, and I want to show you guys a real easy way to reuse these in a thing I call trench composting. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but it works really well because a lot of us just simply don't have a compost pile or some kind of compost bin to go put all this stuff in, and we kind of tend to just throw it away. But this is a great way to get to use it and to reuse it again and again. You feel me? So for time purposes, I've already, like I said, this is where I had my corn, and this is what was happening to the corn. So it's time to get it down, it's time to reuse it, and it's time to take advantage of this material and of this compost that I have right here. So what I did was I dug up all the corn, and my suggestion is if you have big rooted vegetables, go ahead and dig the whole root out. Don't try to just clip it right there from the stem and leave it for next year. Get a shovel, get in there, and get the whole root out. And after you've done that, set them all to the side, because what you want to do is you want to chop this up later. And what I did right here, this is a bunch of corn stalks and everything that have already been chopped up. So I want to show you guys real quick. Like I said, I put this trench right down the middle of it. You know, it took a little while. Go get some music and play some music and get out there and have a good time. It doesn't have to be super deep or anything, but I like to make it a little deep because I'm going to show you guys something. Because what's going to happen is throughout the months, throughout the winter and the fall, we're going to I like to keep refilling mine with the fallen leaves, the dead grass clippings, all the grass clippings from the grass that I'm cutting, the dead weeds, all that good compost from the holiday food that we're going to be cooking and eating. I want to be able to keep putting it in here. That's why I like this trench method, because it lets me reuse the soil and the dirt that's off to the side. And I'm going to show you guys that real quick. So we get in here, we've got our trench dug, right? So we're putting all our everything up to the top like that, and we get our good trench in here all the way down through the middle of it. Now, once we've got that trench in here, we want to start adding our stuff to it. So we're going to do like this. Now that's off to the side like that. I'll cut these up and I'll use them somewhere else. Now what I also have here is some grass clippings and compost that I had. So I'm going to add that to it. Bam, there we go. What I have right here is some bones and some bone meal that I had earlier. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Bam. And this is especially good, guys, if you know that you're going to reuse this spot again next year and the year after. It's absolutely wonderful to do this, because it's just going to keeping that soil alive and well. Now, this right here is some compost that I had. I'm going to dump that in there. Now, that's real nasty. That actually came from a compost pile that I have off sitting to the back. But like I said, if you don't have a compost pile or anything like that, this is a wonderful way to get it started. Now that I have the compost stuff and stuff in there, I'm going to simply put in a little bit of dirt. I don't want to cover it all the way up, just a little bit. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing this over the months. And what that gives me is if I start doing it now, I have September, October, November, December, January, February, March, which is exactly 6 or 7 months before I'll need to start putting seedlings in here. And that is just the right time, as I've said before, for things to start breaking down and really getting into that soil. So we'll still keep covering it a little bit. There. It doesn't have to be covered all the way up or perfect like that or anything, but just a little bit. There we go. Now see, that's about it. This gives me plenty of room to keep doing this over the season. You know, when it's, like I said, when we're eating all that good holiday food and all that stuff, doing it this way and not filling it all the way back up gives me plenty of room to keep adding to it and keep adding to it. And by the time March comes, guys, this soil is going to be so fertile, so alive, and so full with nutrients, it'll just be ready to accept anything. And anything that you plant right here is just boom, you feel me? So just, oh, let me show you what I do after this. Oh, and guys, when it comes to tarps and everything, keep your eye out. People are always throwing away tents. I like to use the shower curtains from the dollar store. Not the clear ones, but the white ones or the black ones. They work great. And then, as I said, always keep your eye out, because there's a lot of times we pass things like tarps and things like that we could use in our garden all the time. So check me out. After you got everything in there, bam, you just want to pull your tarp right over it and put some bricks down. And this is what we'll do to keep it nice and humid and everything throughout the winter and throughout the fall. And the worms and everything are still going to be in there doing their thing and all that stuff. And it's just going to work out just perfect. So remember that, guys. You can dig yourself a trench and start composting it immediately. And if you do that, by the time next year comes, it'll be ready for you. This is Scott Owns Garden. Follow, like, and subscribe at Scott Owns Garden. Keep gardening and keep growing. And remember, guys, take advantage of the things that are starting to die in your garden now. Holla at your boy. Out.